Hello and welcome to the Silver Explanation series. We're going to run through all the contents of Silver Coin. If you missed it, I have a review on Silver on this channel, and I'm just running through all the different expansions right now. So that if you own Silver, you're thinking about picking it up, all of these are standalone, so you can pick the set that seems the most fun to you. Because again, I don't think you need every set. I think you just need one or maybe two. Like, really. It's fun having them all, but you're going to gravitate towards one set or the other. And although they give you the option of mixing and matching, they say, hey, when somebody loses a round, they can pick a number and swap it with some other number from another box. I think that could be fun. I also don't think you need to. Each of the sets give you a little silver token that has an effect for whoever calls the vote correctly first. All of them don't matter whatsoever. This one also doesn't matter whatsoever, but whoever wins this can have the silver coin, and if you flip it over to the tails side, you get to flip over any card. That's the ability. It's just a quick thing. However, I will say that I think this is the best, least obtrusive ability that's out there, and so therefore I like it the most. This is probably my favorite set out of the four: Silver, Amulet, Bullet, Coin, and Dagger. So pay attention because you may just want to skip Amulet, and if you are, I'd say just get Silver Coin. So let's just go through these cards and what they do. First, we have the Regifter. Of course, 2 zeros, 2 13s, and 4 of every other card, as per usual. But when the regifter is face up at scoring, so if you have a regifter hidden and you can flip it over right there at the end, you can give a card to another opponent. It can really shift the game. It can be a real sort of screw you moment to get cards out of your hand. And the zeros and the 13s are always pretty wild, and that's why there's only 2 of each copy instead of 4. Then we have the Con Artist. The Con Artist is awesome. When it's face up, you get to turn it face down and take another turn. So you can take 2 turns back to back just by revealing that you have this number 1. Not only are ones super powerful that you want to have in your village, but then it gives you incentive to keep on flipping it up and flipping it down. And anything that lets you take an extra turn, this is one of the only cards out there. It's pretty fantastic. Con Artist, one of my favorite cards in the game. Again, this is my favorite set, so I'm going to be excited about a lot of these. The Curator is also fun. When face up, rotate one of your cards 90 degrees or discard one of your 90-degree cards. So it's kind of a 2-step discard process, and I like this a lot too because it can get disrupted, right? Like people can take out the Curator, they can flip it face down, and then you're left with this 90-degree card that you wanted to get rid of, and then you are forced to make a choice. Do you keep this card that was 90 degrees face down, or you're like, oh, should I just get rid of it? Should I just get rid of that card on my turn? Am I going to get access to another Curator again? It makes for really fun decision space. The Pixie, when face up, turn this card face down and turn over one other card. So you can see the theme of this is all around this coin, all around the constant flipping of the coin, the constant flipping of the cards as well. To just flip things back and forth, back and forth. And that's why, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh man, because I had such a good time with Dagger the other day. But Silver Coin is my number 1. Silver Amulet's my number 2. And then Bullet and Dagger are kind of tied. When face up, use the discard ability of the top card of the discard pile as your turn. So instead of drawing a card and discarding it, you can use this card's ability, which is really strong, especially if somebody else gets to use a strong ability. You can also mirror that. The Apprentice Tanner, this one's a really interesting one. Put this card face up in your village and then turn over one other card. So you can put it into your village to flip things, right? If you want to have access to those flipping abilities, you can do that, but you're also accruing points by doing that. And so I think that's also a really interesting back and forth. The Huntress, turn 1 coin face down, 1 coin face up. The Nostro, view all cards in one village. Again, kind of like the Insomniac, but this is a little bit stronger because you can view it in any village. Of course, with cards being flipped up and down over and over, I don't really think this adds a lot to it. It's not as exciting as every other card in the deck. The Assassin, discard 1 face-up card to the bottom of the discard pile. Also super important to have for balancing in the deck because there are so many good cards that you want to keep because they're low cards, but then this incentivizes you to take them out while they're face up, while somebody's gearing up for another huge turn. View any 3 cards. Again, the viewing not as important, but you need some of those basic ones in there as well. And I think they kind of stuck them all together in a couple cards so that they could have fun with the other ones. Nosferatu, view the top 3 cards of the discard pile. Take or use the discard ability of one of them. So you can just take a card from the discard pile into your tableau. Again, it would start face up, or you could use the discard. So basically, you're sucking the life out of things. Exchange the top card of the discard pile with 1 village card. Place the village card on the bottom of the discard pile. So you're really swapping things in and out, also getting rid of things that your opponents might need. This one's a really nice variable swapper card. The Village Idiot, move 1 card from each village to its neighbor, all in the same direction. So very similar to One Night Werewolf, but also pretty fun that you just get to shift everything around. You can target which of your neighbors in a larger game you want to take out. And then finally, the Wolfman, when face up at scoring, if the sum of all of the cards in your village is less than 13, score 0 points. So the Wolfman is kind of a tricky one. There's a better version of the 13 card in the Dagger set, but this is sort of what's going to inspire that. And that's why it's the furry, because it's kind of poking fun at the Wolfman. It's like, hey, I can do something-ish similar to your ability. This is also a really dangerous one. If somebody has this face up, you don't want to call because they might have less, but it's also a dangerous one to keep, like, because you need it face up in order to score it at scoring. If it's face down, it doesn't matter, it just counts for 13 points. And if it's face up, you're kind of telegraphing what the rest of your points are, or if you get caught with it, that's just a bunch of points in your hand. This is a great set. This is a really, really great set. This is the set that we played, and I was like, oh yeah, I see the potential of this game. This game is really, really good, and this is by far my favorite set. Yeah, I might have to go and readjust my recommendation on the other one. Nah, it was pretty clear. I think Amulet is the best one to start off with, but I think Silver Coin is my favorite for sure. So this is my favorite set. If you just are getting one set, I recommend get Amulet. If you want something simpler, you think this and the little bit of chaos that happens, this is for sure the most fun. That's number 3. Thanks for watching. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but try not to die by werewolf, and I'll see you under the full moon.